Hey there, everyone. Nicholas Dettmann here for another edition of the Dettmann Media Podcast, where we go over tips, trends, analysis, and just general feedback of the latest social media and digital marketing strategies, tips, analysis, and so forth. Really glad you can join me here today. We've got a really important topic to discuss, and it has to do with Facebook and Instagram algorithm changes that have begun rolling out here over the last several weeks. So this is, to me, I think is one of the most important topics dealing with social media, especially with Facebook, and just understanding how to get your content seen and how to get really try to get your name out there and get that brand to be made aware of your brand to the general public, organically or by paid search. So again, really glad you can join me. So this is a pretty lengthy topic, so we'll just jump right into it and kind of discuss the Facebook and Instagram algorithm changes that have begun rolling out over the last several weeks. So, as noted, either on my blog or here on previous podcasts, for years we've wondered how Facebook, which also owns Instagram, sets up users' news feeds. If you think way back when Facebook was originally posted, it was by chronological order. That's not the case anymore. That kind of went away relatively quick, and it switched to this algorithm formula that makes predictions and calculations based on users' history and activity, and how to better understand what they think is most important to that specific user. So in the past, Facebook has been quite hush-hush about how it's calculated. But I would say over the last several months, they have been a little more, actually probably a bit more transparent in informing users and how they see their news feeds and why they can see the certain posts that they do and when they see them. A lot more of that transparency, coupled with several changes, like I said, are becoming more clear than ever before. And it's good and bad from a marketing standpoint. So let me kind of explain what I mean by that. So, excuse me. In an article that posted on TechCrunch.com back in March, it said Facebook denies its algorithms are a problem, but launches a tool to more easily view a non-algorithmic newsfeed. According to that article, it says, quote, following years of backlash over its algorithms and their ability to push people to more extreme content, which Facebook continues to deny, the company on March 31st, 2021, announced it would give its users new tools to more easily switch over to non-algorithmic views of their newsfeed. So when Facebook initially launched, that was nearly 20 years ago. Yes, that's what I said. That's about 2003, 2004 is when it launched. So right now it's an adult, if you're looking at from an age standpoint. Posts were seen, like I said, by users in the order of which people, their friends or their network, those posts were made chronologically. And like I said, that held up for several years until Facebook changed that. And what was set up was an algorithm formula that calculated how users engage with posts and pages and used that data to organize users' news feeds, really based on what they thought was that specific user's preferences. Well, that practice has been heavily scrutinized in recent years with arguments including swaying elections, pushing agendas, and so forth. But like the article said, Facebook has decided to not only make changes, but also be a bit more transparent into what the changes are and what can be expected going forward. So Facebook is focusing on giving the users more control of what they see or don't see in their newsfeed rather than using a computer calculation. So Facebook is essentially they're trying to enhance the user experience, and I've noted in previous blogs and podcasts that the trust in Facebook has diminished significantly over the last several years because of the secrecy of the algorithm and how people see certain posts when they do. Into what I mentioned before, arguments that the platform is swaying elections or pushing certain agendas. So Facebook allowing the user to have more control is great for users. It creates the positive user experience, and when you have positive user experience, you're going to build more trust and loyalty. And I think that's the big thing Facebook is focusing on, is trying to increase the user experience and make it a more positive experience. Well, like I said, that's good for users. It can be worrisome for marketers, and among those changes is the creation of a favorites option in your newsfeed settings, and I have an outline right on my blog at nicholasdettmann.blogspot.com that gives a picture-by-picture look explanation how to set those preferences. So what users can do off of these preference settings is users can set up to 30 favorites of either friends or pages that they want as top priority in their news feeds. So you can, if you want to follow certain news stations and a group of friends, and you have up to 30, and those 30 profiles or business pages will have top priority in terms of where their posts land on your news feed. So you'll see more of those at the top of your news feeds, where if those posts made outside of your 30 will shift down your timeline. So here are some of the other changes to be made aware that I need to make you aware of as well, kind of related to this. The feed filter bar on mobile will be more accessible. Give users information about why they're seeing the posts that they are. Opportunities to reach more people than just your followers organically. This is where it actually could be a good thing for marketing, and I'll explain that here in a little bit. Users may see suggested posts or business pages based on where they are physically located in that real time. Now, I want to mention here that I've noted this previously about Apple's privacy setting changes. I'm still researching how those changes and other cookie tracking changes are going to impact this. So that's certainly one thing to keep in mind as we continue to see how this evolves. And here's the other part where it can be good for marketers based on the previous point about opportunities to reach people than just your followers organically. Suggesting posts and pages to non-followers who have friends who interact with business pages. So there'll be chances where somebody who follows your page shares a post from your business page. It can appear in a friend's timeline who may not follow you, but they see that interaction, and that could expose you to a potential new consumer. This has been kind of talked about for a number of years, as well as Facebook's looking to remove the like button and change it to just follow. There's been a lot of confusion of what the difference is between the two, so Facebook is looking to just streamline that into one button. And there's going to be an increased reliance on hashtags in Facebook posts. Obviously, Twitter was the one that kind of started the hashtag phenomenon, and Facebook really didn't utilize that a lot. But now, since Facebook owns Instagram, where Instagram relies heavily on hashtags for search usage, Facebook is looking at enhancing the reliance on hashtags within their posts. So these are some big-time changes for Facebook, which again also includes Instagram in some capacity. And again, giving the user more control will be a win for users and their trust in Facebook. And again, like I said, the trust in Facebook is dwindling and is doing so rapidly, so this is certainly an effort by Facebook to do that. Now, here are some other points to keep in mind as we continue to go forward. Organic reach continues to drop to around 2%. So say if you have 1,000 followers, not likes, of your Facebook page, that means only 20% or 20 people are seeing your posts on average. Just a few years ago, that number was above 6%. So the reason for that is because there's so much traffic on Facebook. The window to see posts is so much smaller than it was to say 5-10 years ago. That's one reason the algorithm was created. It was trying to help users see content believed to be important to them based on engagement history. Using engagement bait copies such as like this post or share this post is heavily dropping organic reach. So essentially, let the content, which includes a video or photo, do the talking, make the post engaging rather than ask for it. Facebook wants its users to stay on the platform, so posting outboard links are diminishing a page's organic reach too, and I can attest to that because I'm certainly seeing that, and I know you're kind of wondering, hey, wow. That's kind of why we have Facebook, is try to create awareness and leads from our Facebook page to our website, because the way a lot of people want to look at Facebook is, or even social media in general, is that use social media and Facebook as kind of, like I always say, as the front door to your business or the front porch to your business. The job you're trying to do is lead them through the front door and inside to, quote, or lack of a better term, your website is the inside of the house. So that's kind of why this is a little interesting, tidbit here, because that's what we're trying to do is use social media to create leads to a website. And Facebook is doing some things that could prevent some or minimize your outbound link strategy from Facebook to your social media. And then when it comes to the hashtag, like I mentioned before, appears 1 to 2 hashtags will be the recommended way to go. 3 to 5 will be a little sketchy. Any more than that will be troublesome and will diminish your organic reach. It will be recommended to hashtag your location too. So if you're in Dallas, if you want to put a hashtag Dallas, that will be one ideal hashtag, because someone can type in Dallas in a search and your post could pop up in that spot. And the last part here that I'm going to touch on here on today's topic is just looking at some statistics to keep in mind. And the source of this is the GO Digital June study. 60% of consumers visit Facebook page before visiting brick and mortar location or website. Like I said just a moment ago about Facebook wanting users to stay on the platform, is that posting outbound links could diminish a page's organic reach. Well, here's a statistic that shows this is what we're trying to do. So this is going to be really kind of tug and war about this. It's like, okay, we're trying to create leads to our website using social media. We got the staff for people to doing it, but Facebook is saying that the page's organic reaches could diminish if you post an outbound link. So it's really kind of a tug and war when you look at that. 80% of consumers are more inclined to purchase from a business if they find a credible, authentic Facebook page as associated with a business. And then 62% of consumers say Facebook is the most important and useful social media tool to research small businesses. Of course, when you're thinking of large-scale businesses that have the brand notoriety like Amazon, Walmart, and places on Home Depot and places like that, they've got that brand notoriety. But if you're a small business like a mom and pop grocery store in your local community, it's really hard to get more people to understand your business, especially for those if you're trying to expand or grow as a business. So Facebook is really still very powerful in that respect, but it takes a lot of precise movements and predictions and strategies to really help utilize Facebook the best way you possibly can, while doing it with a minimal amount of cost that small businesses have obviously a much smaller budget to work with. So a lot of really neat things here that Facebook and Instagram are rolling out with the algorithm and helping users understand how it works. They still haven't really flat out said this is how it works, but they keep giving us peeks and into kind of their brains in terms of how their computers work and setting users' timelines and how privacy settings down the road could alter that. And here's what you can kind of expect going forward. So again, really glad you joined me here today. If you haven't had a chance to, hopefully you've clicked subscribe to the podcast. And would really like to as well, if you can head over to the blog. That's nicholasdettmann.blogspot.com. Click on subscribe, and you can get notifications sent right to your email inbox when a blog post is made. And on the blog posts are often a lot of what we talk about here, but a few other things that we don't get a chance to talk about social media tips, trends, analysis, and overall maybe website marketing and website analysis and performance and so forth. And of course, the blog is also another great way to just reach out to me to either for feedback or if there's a question or a topic you'd like me to discuss. I'd be certainly happy to provide some feedback for you on that if you have some questions or some roadblocks as you're trying to evolve your social media and digital marketing strategies. So until next time, everybody, stay safe, have a good rest of your day, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.